We are back again, and this time we're still the conversation, like I promised you in the last episode, that we're going to continue with discussing about the dangers inherent in human trafficking. We all know and have agreed that it's a crime, but some people are still doing it. Even as we speak, we want to imagine that it's going on in spite of all that we've said that is associated with having to be trafficked. You'll recall with me that we say that the trade in humans is mostly, most commonly for the purpose of forced labor, sexual slavery, or commercial or sexual exploitation. And for the people who traffic others, it is gain, gain, gain for them. But for those who are trafficked and those who are unfortunate to be in that dungeon, the story is not the same. And so we'll continue. First, we also attempted, you recall, at that last episode, to build a bridge of sustainability in making people who are fortunate to be alive to have returned. How does the society integrate them? Government is doing its part, but let's start from our own part as individuals or collectively as a community. What do we need to do? Haven't seen, Abika said to us in the last episode that what she saw, she's never seen in her practiced life as a journalist and also as a member of the House. Now, Honorable Abike, let the conversation continue. What should we do? How, I'm anxious. How do we stop this?
Well, I think, like I keep saying, let each person teach the next person. In the midst of all this, I went to a function, and I've told that story before, and my driver wanted to buy oranges or banana or something, and the woman was saying, I only need 35,000 naira only, and my daughter will go to Europe, and my life will change. So he said, haven't you been seeing what is going on about this thing? She was ignorant. So he was able to save some woman from taking the next dangerous step on behalf of her daughter. So let each person tell the next person. And then important to go into the communities. I think we should go back to those days where we had, is it rediffusion? Where you go about, and saying, this is wrong and all that. Because you see, in exchanging, in discussing with a lot of them, yes, tough times, will drive people, you want money at all costs, but poverty is an issue, but ignorance is the bigger issue. If any one of them knew that they will go through what they went through, they will never in their wildest dreams go through that. Yes, some know they're going to prostitution. I know, because it's been an age-long tradition with some people. Okay, go to Italy. You're going to prostitution. But this is different now. You won't even get to that destination. And then what we need to be telling them is, if you survive, like I said some time ago, it's difficult now. You either drown, or you're deliberately drowned, or you're killed. And now with the world attention, I think there's now more attention being paid to nabbing the traffickers. Libya just, rounded up some, and is saying they're going to deal with them. We got one trafficker in Libya, a Nigerian from, I think, Akwa Ibom State, with the nickname Presence, and she's gone to court and she's been jailed there. So as we've said, let us ensure that the traffickers are nabbed. And then we should always continue the conversation about this, that it could happen to anybody. So let every one of us continue to engage and let the next person know that it's just not worth it.
When we're talking to letting everyone engage, I'd like you to share that story with our viewers, what you saw on the sea, because you go through the desert and then you paddled, on sea, and yes, share it with us.
Yeah, I mean, the things I saw in Morocco, for instance, unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to take photographs, even though I visited with Foreign Affairs Ministry official from the embassy, thanks to Ambassador and his ministry officials. But when I heard the languages, just them conversing amongst themselves, I was able to dictate a few from my state. I'm from Delta State, and we had quite a lot of them from Delta in the particular camp I visited. I decided to interact with some of them, and I offered to, because of the deplorable situation, I offered to take some of them, pay for some of them to go back to Nigeria. once I brought up the issue, one of them said, God forbid bad thing. And they started to sing praise songs. And so I went on to say to them, do you know that out of hundreds of you here, maybe 10 or 20 will succeed in getting across to Europe? One of them said, well, I will be among that 10 to 20%. So it is I've been saying, we have to keep up this conversation. I'm doing a lot in my Delta State area and some other states that I have visited. Fortunately, I'm in contact with some government officials that are looking into the matter in my state to see how one can keep up, not just with those potential returnees, but those still wanting to experience it. But like Honorable Abike mentioned, we have to find a way of doing more of this. We have to have some kind of clips, even if it means borrowing something from CNN, to kind of use in letting people know. Sensitization is very important. That we can't run away from it, because as we speak, there are those trying to save money. There are those trying to... I have one that came to me just last week, and he came back from Libya, not part of the group, but he came back on his own to kind of regroup. His parents managed to organize, sort of gave him, because by then this whole news was all over the place. They got him a keke, and then he started around. He made some money within a few months, but he's now trying to sell the keke and go back on the same route, because according to him, he experienced a lot, and the experience will guide him in finding a better route this time. So it is a difficult one. And if I may also add that the reason we saw what was on television globally is because the Libyan situation collapsed. We still have pockets of this in other North African countries. And what they have done, because it's costing the various governments a lot of money to keep these camps going, they decided to outsource the camps to private individuals. And the private individuals want to make money, private institutions. So because they want to make money, they started the slavery thing. That is cheap labor to people that want to come and buy the human beings, the Nigerians.
So even as we speak,
yes,
the trade is still thriving,
that's
so
right,
to
yes.
speak. Right, I'll quickly come to Ambassador. And I just want you to actually speak out there to our viewers. How do you survive in a country when you don't have your documents for you to work with, for you to be gainfully employed, as it were? What happens?
Well, thank you. Like I said, I served my entire life in the foreign service. My name is Ayo Ulukoni, a retired foreign service officer. And my last assignment was as ambassador in Australia, from where I also covered New Zealand, Fiji, and Papua New Guinea. And you have Nigerians in all these places in various areas. But before I go, I also want to say thank you to Dr. Newton Jibuno. I worked closely with him when I was in the ministry in terms of what he did, in terms of raising awareness on all of this. Now, the question of the Morocco Road people, the Morocco Road people is part and parcel of the spectrum of Nigerians trying to enter Europe or other places illegally. We also have those people who also have visas. One way or the other, they get visas from here. And when they enter those places and at the point, they will have flushed out their passports in the aircraft, turn their passport and flush it out. And they come out at the immigration saying they are declaring asylum. That they are running away from either from their country, Nigeria, for one reason or another, which is all a bloody lie. And it's ignorance, because the asylum process has its own, as far as legal processes, in which for one thing or the other. Usually the Nigerians, when they are involved, they say they are still processing their ASI. ASI, that meaning asylum. And because of the human rights laws in Europe, some of them may not be in jail, but they're just in detention camps. Some of them even are allowed to go out. But at the end of the day, because they're declaring asylum, the mission has a limited responsibility, not more than just a watch, to make sure that at least they have their day in court. And usually when they finish, and then they said, no, you are not entitled to asylum because of the UN Convention on the Right on the Refugees as well. They have to go back home. So you have a lot of people like that, but the mission does. But let me also share this experience with you as well, in terms of who are the stakeholders with you engaged. When I was in Vienna, I served as acting Palm Rep and Chargé d'Affaires in Vienna. We work closely with the Vienna police in terms of, and they give certificate because prostitution is legal in those places. But we said, do not. But we also discovered that, there's reverse evangelization. A lot of Nigerian churches are there. So we decided to work closely with the Nigerian churches. Because ironically, the girls who are on the streets on Saturday are the ones you find in the choir on Sunday. So we decided to engage them through their respective churches and others where they attend, and work closely with International Organization for Migration, IOM, in terms of voluntary assistance return. So I think one of the things we can also do here is, I presume NAPTIV is also engaging them. Let us, Nigerians, we are very, very religious people. Like Dr. Nijuna said, it is not my portion. I will get to Europe. Let us use the churches. After the homily, the pastor, please remember, do not push your girls to Europe. Let them engage. And because they believe a lot in their religious leader. So let us use the faith-based group, the churches, the mosque, and others, in terms of trying to...
Very important.
I think there.
Yeah.
It's an important area.
Yes, I agree with you. Yes.
I totally agree.
My name is Choma Onyenucheya Uko. I'm the PRO of FIDA, International Federation of Women Lawyers, Abuja branch. And taking a cue from the last speaker, I mean, beyond what has been done, what can we do? And I don't want to push it to government or to somebody there, to all of us really. I mean, he has spoken about our religious leaders. The truth is, yes, we are very religious people, and we cannot overflog that point. Then again, many of us, maybe out of inadvertence or something, we are also complicit to some degree. You see people share so many stuff on social media, for instance, and somebody just gets a message, calls us so number, there is some vacation, some opportunity somewhere, some number is featured there. Do you even do some due diligence to find out the veracity or otherwise of those claims? People don't bother. They push it out. Now, there are ignorant people who maybe genuinely are looking for something, some new lease of life, and they think this thing may yield for them, and they reach out to those numbers. How do people eventually fall victims? It starts out like that. So I think we should be careful what we encourage and what we propagate. If we are not so sure of it, please let us not do that, because we may be putting somebody's life in danger tomorrow without knowing it.
Thank you very much.
My name is Ifeoma Ihanacho. I'm a FIDAN and I'm a gender right activist. We've talked a lot on this issue, and if we should continue, I'd like to say that will be endless. I'd like to talk on the solutions. What can we do?
Moving forward.
The way forward.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like us to tackle the causes, because if you don't tackle the causes, you can't cushion the effects. So what we are going to do is just to start from the national to the local government level. It has to trickle down from the national to the local government. We have to adapt the principles of good neighborliness. We have to start, going back and adapting back, reorientating ourselves and adopting back our family and moral values. Now, when you talk about somebody not having godly contentment, because you feel that you're going to be better when you travel outside, it's because you're not content. You're not contented with where you are, what you have, and probably maybe because you've lost hope. Then we want to talk about unemployment, and you want to talk about poverty. That alone, I think we should go for policy. We have enough laws, we have enough policies. All we just need is just implementable strategies, workable mechanisms. How do we get them to be more effective? And how do we do that?
So you're speaking to,
I'm speaking generally.
Okay.
The government, individuals, CSOs, you and I, when I talked about principles of good neighborliness. The child out there, the girl out there, the boy out there could be your son-in-law, your daughter-in-law tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Patricia Oduku, and I'm the Acting Director, Counseling and Rehabilitation Department
That
of
is
NAPTIP.
where I'm going. Do we have enough counselors? Yes. Yes.
Yes, we do. But with the influx of, the returnees, trafficked persons coming in.
So we don't have
then we
enough,
might have-
as it were.
I'll just say that we do have enough
To go around the
counselors
country.
to go around the country, and those that can really work with these children and work with these adults too. If we're talking about like how do we move forward, how
would you fast track?
What is going on? Like in NAPTIP, we're trying to catch them young, teach them at primary level, secondary level, and university
When
level.
you say primary level, at what
Primary
age group?
school.
At what age group? Because we won't
5.
expose them to too many things. Yes.
But it's good we let them
At
know
what
so they
age?
can
At
speak
what age?
out. 5 years,
Doctor,
Well,
at what
6
age?
years.
15,
Yes.
15.
I do
I
not
mean,
think
most of
private.
those,
I think primary school,
most
because
of
these are
those,
children
yes.
who will see somebody riding a Mercedes, and they'll tell you, "I want to buy this car."
At that
And
age.
At that age, yes.
Okay.
I want to buy this car. And sometimes when you tell them, for you to buy this car, you need to go to school, work hard, genuine work, and then you save money to buy the car. Some will now tell you, no, I just want the car.
Okay.
So they are like,
So our value system, we need to work
so
on that.
to catch them young at that age is very important.
I think we'll debate that again on Bridges. At what age do we start giving out these messages so that we do not expose our young ones to too many adult things before they grow? At the back, I know Kabiesi wants to come on now. Yes. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Our time
yes.
is-
My name is Lashe Abiola Kuzoko. I'm the Lashe of Ibutiega in Ikodu, Lagos. I think where we're missing it is the public awareness campaign is not enough, and the government should also take it straight to the traditional rulers, the chief imams, the pastors, because the moment they keep talking about it, it will go down to the mind of every other person. I think that is the only way it will be easier for us to tackle this thing from the roots.
Yes, and I think we should go kudos to His Highness, the Oba of Benin. He started something. Yeah, I think he needs a round of applause on Bridges for that, because that's very profound. Yeah, what he came up with, And yes, ma'am.
My name is Ngozi Ikenga.
I like the caption you're
the
carrying.
chairperson of FIDA Abuja.
Okay.
The way to go about it, like we said, is that we should all fight this trafficking the way we fought Ebola. We fought Ebola because nobody knows who it will be his or her turn. So everybody was concerned, government, individuals, civil societies. If we really want to nip it on the bud, everybody should come together and fight it. And we should all talk about it. And when you see it happening or about to happen, you say it. And by that, we can go a long way.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Abdurrahim Opotu Shaibu. I'm the Director of Legal and Prosecution in the National Agency for the
Have you
Prohibition of
prosecuted
Trafficking Persons.
some of the traffickers?
Several. That's what I mentioned.
We need
the
to
last
see
edition.
them.
You see, we will showcase because even today we arraigned one trafficker in FCT High Court in Abuja, and today we got a conviction in Kano office of another trafficker. So we will continue showcasing it.
Okay.
Yeah. We should continue showcasing is what we want to really let Nigerians know that we really have to deter all these criminals through prosecution, and we are doing a lot by working with the judiciary, working with the Nigerian Bar Association, and working with the legal community to see that we bring these people before the law. They are not above the law. That's what they are. They want us to believe, that they are above the law. They are never. So once we are able to catch them, we are going to really deal with them and ensure that we put them behind bars, like I mentioned at that last edition.
Yeah. I know, Honorable Abike, you have tried to integrate in terms of bringing some family values to some of these unfortunate victims. Do they really want that kind of life back?
Oh, some do.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like I said, even some of these returnees, I mean, by the time they tell their stories, maybe 6 months, a year from now, I mean, there will be good stories to tell. So we're getting positive stories from those who have come back and realized that it's just not worth it. And like I said, if they knew, some would not do it. And going back to the Oba of Benin, I remember the Oba's father. An Oba never dies. So the Oba who passed on, he did the same thing. He placed the curse. We went to him then, I was in Parliament, and we're talking about this Libya thing, because we brought back 24 that Gaddafi was going to kill. They were irregular migrants. And he went on national television and said, any family that encouraged their children and placed this curse on you, it went down drastically. But then there was no sustainability, as we have heard. So, I mean, it's going to be a major move, and I'm sure it will work. And we hope that even with the effort Edo State is making, the governor has assured us that in another 2 years, it's going to be a thing of history. So I hope that works. But there's an alarm I'm going to raise here. We're talking about Libya, some African countries. There are now those going towards places like Saudi Arabia and all that. You have travel agents who will go and get you genuine visas. They go to these embassies, get you genuine visas. They take small girls to medical doctors. 12, 13 girls, you take them to a medical doctor, he does the examination, they go to the embassy, get them genuine visas, and then get them out of the country properly, legitimately. That is another danger that NAPTIP must expose. And for NAPTIP, we commend you, but let us see them, name and shame them. A trafficker prosecuted, we should all see him and say, shame on you.
That's it. Because in Europe, for example, if you are caught in the act and you wear something that identifies you even as a trafficker or pedophile or something, we really must work at this. So we would give you the microphone as we round up on this episode.
The guru.
Let the guru
of the desert.
In addition to working with the faith institutions, the imams in various mosques, the traditional rulers, incentivizing, I think programs like this should be taken around because it is important. They go a long way towards helping the people because I'm still concerned about people seeing the other side. I mean, these girls are making $10,000 a week in Italy, and most of they send what do you call it now? They send clips of on their phone to their families to show the kind of life they are having and the kind of money they are sending home. So we have to counter all that to let them know the other side. And if I have time, I want to share with you, not even share, a horrible story that traumatized me and is still traumatizing me till today. I was crossing the Mediterranean between Tangier and Alicante. Tangier in Algeria and Alicante in Spain. And I paid to have my car in a boat. And I paid to have a cabin because it was an overnight crossing that was going to take 12 hours. So, but when I got to my cabin, I found that I had a neighbor and I didn't know, and he was smoking. But because of the smoke, I couldn't sleep. So I decided to go to the deck. And when I got to the deck, I saw hundreds of migrants. And I got to know because I could hear some of them talking in Yoruba, in Igbo, And I stayed there. Whilst I was there, a security man, I think sensing that I wasn't meant to be part of them, came to me and said, "Can I have a look at your papers?" Which I was carrying with me. So I showed him. He said, "Please go back to your cabin." And he was so emphatic. So I went back to my cabin. Just before the boat docked, they made an announcement that in the next 30 minutes I came out, and all the migrants were gone.
Where were they?
So I called the security man and said, "Where are all these people?" He said to me, "Didn't I warn you to go back to your cabin?" That they had news that they were going to be raided, and if they find illegal migrants on their boat, they would seize and tow their boat away. So they had to push all of them over the boat.
So we lost all of them.
For days, I couldn't recover from that. So you can imagine.
Even sharing it with me
Yeah.
is better imagined than seen.
And just to add to that, now they're actually just pushing all of them into the water. That is what is happening.
Yes.
So those who survived a few years back, sending pictures, you're not likely to survive in today's world. They push them and make sure that they die.
The
So that is the
Mediterranean.
danger in the Mediterranean.
So that's the danger, and it's happening, and it's real, and we need, as a people, to stop this today. Well, I want to thank you all for sharing your experiences with us and ensuring that I do hope that we'll have been able to contribute to the effort to stem the tide of human trafficking. We can build a better Nigeria. We have huge potentials here. And I keep saying to people that whatever your skills are or is, or you're about to acquire, the population that will buy or sell with you and make you grow. Let's believe in ourselves. Let's turn the tide and make this country the real hub for improved life in Africa. Thank you, our guru. Thank you, Honorable Abike Rewa, my own sister. And thank you all for coming. Thanks for watching. Bridges on the Back, same time next week.